Hello friends, and welcome to the series of Entrepreneurship. Today we are going to watch a film on Srimati Shashi Anand, a lady from Delhi now settled in USA. Whenever we talk about entrepreneurship, there are few aspects you have to understand which you will be witnessing in this film. And those conditions are, or those aspects are, the prerequisites of an entrepreneur. These are the personal qualities of an entrepreneur, such as innovativeness, lateral thinking, risk-taking ability, and a very important aspect is self-esteem. Similarly, you also have to understand one myth, and that is about money. It is not necessary to have a lot of money to start your own business or to be an entrepreneur. So many dreams and so many plans do not get converted into reality simply because people feel that they do not have money. They simply do not try out and therefore they cannot get success. Here is the story of a lady who was compelled to do something. The situation was such that she had to do something and therefore she showed her courage, she showed her will, she showed her adventurous nature, and in spite of having environment like different country, she was not in India, she was in USA. So in a different country, in a different environment, in a different culture, she tried to be on her own. Another aspect here you will be really happy to watch and witness, and that is she was writing every single day 2 letters to her daughters because her daughters were in India. Now, being entrepreneur does not mean running after money. Being entrepreneur does not mean you cut out all these basic human feelings, and therefore a different aspect of entrepreneurship, and mind well, she is not a kind of typical college graduate MBA or college graduate entrepreneur. She has learned everything on her own. So money is not important, but self-esteem is important. Ego is not important, but your dignity of labor is more important. People generally get confused that because I am entrepreneur, I will be sitting in an air-conditioned cabin and people will be doing the job. But that's not the case. You are entrepreneur in true sense only when you respect the dignity of labor. So I think you will have all these aspects seen in this film from a very different perspective. So let's watch film.
New York, the business and fashion capital of America. This is Shashi Anand, a mover and shaker on 7th Avenue, the fashion street of New York. Yearly gross sales, $15 million. Her wholesale customers include Bloomingdale's, Urban Outfitters, and Macy's.
It is like a rat race in this country. Everybody's running after money. You are working hard day and night. It is like a dog's life sometimes if you think. It's a lot of work. End of the day, it gives you satisfaction, that's a different thing. For me, it's different. I cannot back out because in India, in the factory, at least couple of 100 people, or maybe more than that, they're working in the factory.
Shashi was born and brought up in India, happily married to Anand, became the mother of 2 girls, but
in the morning, around 5 o'clock, the police guys came and gave me the news of his death. He was coming in a private car and he just got off at the rest station to get some, I think, coffee or something. And that is the time one truck just he was, I think, overtaking and he passed through. I don't know what happened to me. I didn't even cry at all. I was just quiet. Means even the dead body came and I did not cry at all. I was just thinking that what I'm going to do next now. I don't know, I was so scared, and so many people were there. I didn't know what to do. There were hundreds and thousands of people. I could see only the lot of people there. And I was thinking what I'm going to do next now. Business was joint business, and I didn't know anything, and I was just scared that what I'm going to do. That was the only question I had in my mind. When I got widow in the age of 25, 26, it was, don't you think, it was too tough for me. First day of my husband expired in November, and 1st of January I started going to college in YMCA. And that was the toughest day for me to get out from my house wearing colored sari, and I was thinking in my mind, everybody's looking at me. And the society is like that. Even my own cousins who are my husband's brother children, they will come to pick me up from my college or my office. You feel embarrassed to walk with them because people are watching you, that nobody knows you are going with who. Maybe if that's your own brother or own cousin. It is tough. So in that kind of conservative society, it was very hard. And I don't say it was very easy for me here. It was even tougher than that. But the society is open and liberty is there to do a lot of things. There is no boundary for that. And that was the only thing I enjoyed working here. You see, I was married to a very conservative family in Delhi. Anand family, it's very known in Krishan Nagar. And we were 6 brothers, and I was the youngest in the family. They were very much against even to come to America, because they wanted me to stay there, because they said it's joint family, why you have to work? Just stay home and we will take care of you. But it bothered me, and I didn't want to take anybody's help. As my parents were thinking that they will send me to New York and I will get the green card and maybe I will get married. And my brain was working on somewhere else, that I will go to America and I will do something. But what? I didn't know that. You see, it was very tough because of the first thing was the language and accent. I had the Indian typical accent, and it was very hard for me. I was working for an Indian company, but all the clients were American and Southern clients. And when you pick up the phone and their accent was so different, and I was so scared even to pick up the phone because I couldn't understand. Customers from Dallas, Texas, when they used to call me in our company, it was very hard for me to understand what they are telling me. See, actually after coming to New York, the people who sponsored me, they were in clothing business. And that was the only business I learned. And I got interest also in that. So I thought after I got the green card, it came in my mind, why not I should do something on my own? But I didn't have enough finances. So after saving some money, then I thought it's better I should do something, a small business. And that's how the main thing is to grow. And to call my daughters from India. And I needed money for that. And I didn't want to take money from any of the relatives. It was very hard for me, but still I made it. means she wanted to come to this country. But then you see my brother he is married to a Dutch lady, and it was very hard for them to go to Holland and live there with her. Communication was a big problem there. So I had this ambition that I should do something and get them here and do something for them. But it didn't work out, unfortunately. And ultimately we planned, and that time I had the Seema boutique. It was so interesting, you see. We made all the plans in the month of November, and December she was leaving from India. And all of a sudden, one day before she called me and she said, Shashi, make sure tomorrow you should be at the airport. I said, Mother, don't worry, you don't have to tell me, I'm waiting for you to come here. So at night we came home and we were so excited that in the morning we have to get up and they are coming tomorrow. My parents both were coming. So at night around 2:30, I got a call from my neighbor in Delhi, in East Patel Nagar. And they said, your mom had stroke. I said, what? Is it minor? I said, give phone to her, I would like to speak to her. They said, no, she cannot talk. So then I spoke to my father and I said, Bauji, tell me, how is Mataji? And he said कि बेटा वो बोल नहीं सकती, उसको टंग के ऊपर पैरालिसिस का स्ट्रोक हुआ है. I said, then go and do something, means. Then he went to the market, brought the medicine, whatever doctor said. And I called my brother, I said, Subhash, means Mataji is very sick, what to do? He said, I will call my professor, Dr. Bhargava. He was in Maulana Azad Medical College. And he called him right away. And he said, my mom is very sick and please do me a favor, go there and see her and call me right away. So Dr. Bhargava came to our house in Patel Nagar, saw my mom. And he said, nothing to worry about, means she is going to be just fine. But within 1 week time, she died.
Very young. We were doing fine till she visited us. She came I think after 2 years, she stayed here, she came back to India. And once we met her again after 2 years, we just wanted to be with her. We went on a vacation to Missouri, remember?
Yeah.
And that's it. Then after that, we just wanted to be with her. We had adjusted ourselves without mom for 2 years, but then after that, every day that went by, we just wanted to be with her.
You were crying?
Yeah, we used to write her big letters and she would write us every single day. We used to get a letter from her.
Morning and evening, the postman used to bring her.
And we would just wait for the mail.
Every day she used to write.
She made sure 3-4 pages of letter. The weather is like this, it's snowing, the stores are like this, what she was wearing, how things changed for her. Every little bit, it was just so beautiful.
And she would send us gifts and she would send us little...
In the mail.
Yeah, little, stuffed toys and
notes.
Pretty...
Anybody who came to
pretty
India.
Dresses and chocolates.
Yeah. She doesn't live for herself, she's done everything for us.
Everything.
Just keeping us two both in her mind, she went on and on and on. Without caring whether she was alone, she has somebody or she doesn't have somebody. She just went on and on and on.
She had opportunity to get married.
She was young.
There were a lot of, she was very pretty. There were a lot of men who wanted to marry her, but then on the cost of not having to take the 2 children. They said, we will take the...
But she didn't want to share us with
take
anybody.
the woman.
She wouldn't trust anybody else with us.
So she didn't want to leave us.
We're already in the 2nd Avenue. We started off. United Nations Plaza is here. You can sing with this. We have planned to start something. We planned it last year, but it's only
He picked up a lot of merchandise and I really got scared. I thought how he's going to pay for it. So I asked him, is it going to be charge or cash? So he said, this is charge. I said, okay, let me call my husband just to pretend that I have someone in the store. So he said, where is he? I said, he just went to next door. So let me call him. I picked up the phone. I just called any wrong number. And I said, Bill, what are you doing? whenever you go to the bathroom, you take too long. Just come back because there is a big customer in the store. And I hung up. After 10 minutes, he came back to my counter and he said, is anybody coming or I'm ready. So I said, yeah, sure, he's coming, but I will take your charge, no problem. So I said, is it MasterCard or Visa? So he said, MasterCard. So I said, can I have your card? He put his hand in the pocket and he pulled out the gun and put on my head. And he said, don't move, otherwise I will blow your head. I said, no problem. In the meantime, UPS guy came outside for delivery. And I wanted to say something to the UPS or some kind of indication that I'm in trouble, but he was right there. I couldn't move. He brought the gun so close to me, and outside UPS guy couldn't see. So ultimately he said, don't try to be too smart this time and don't use the buzzer. I had the alarm system. He said, don't try to do anything, otherwise I will kill you right away. So I couldn't do anything. He said, go in the fitting room, just undress and lie facing down. And he took everything and went.
My mother, she's like a coconut, hard on the surface and soft inside. She has always portrayed herself as a very tough cookie, tigress, a business tycoon who could fight anyone and make it like manipulative maybe sometimes for her own business. But inside it's only a struggle to survive and to give her daughters the privileges, the whatever they needed for their living, so that they never feel that they did not get what they could have gotten if they had a father. And she gave everything possible that even as a couple, people cannot give to their children. She gave as a single lady.
That is the time I started making money, whether it was little, but I was very happy. And after 1 year of doing my business in the boutique, I met Mr. Saraf. He is the manufacturer out of Jaipur, India. And he came to my store to see new designs because I used to pick up a lot of different styles in my small boutique. And that was the tourist neighborhood. And he asked me, he said, you are such a hardworking person and this is such a small shop, how much money you can make? I said, whatever I'm making at least is better than the job and I'm satisfied. He said, why don't you start importing from India? So I told him, I cannot, because for import it needs a lot of money and I don't have that much money with me. He asked me how much money you have. I told him $60,000 to $70,000. So he said, either you invest that money and start your own import and become big, think big, or just stay here for the rest of your life. I felt very disgusted, you see. I said, how bluntly he told me that. But I came home and I shared my thoughts with my daughter. And after 2 or 3 days, I decided what he's saying is right. I should do something, you see. I did felt that, you see, maybe if anything will go wrong, but then I thought if $30,000, $40,000 if I will lose, still I will do. I was very hardworking actually. And I thought I can work hard and I can make this money again, if in case I will lose it. But somehow I had faith in that man. I was young, might be 27 or 28 years old. So I thought if something happens or this man will cheat me or send me wrong merchandise from India, here at least I can still go back to my flea market business and make money from there. It was very hardworking. It was very tough. Get up in the morning, go to those places, set up on your own, and winter time it was very cold but still you can make your own money and you're your own boss. जो ऊपर है यहाँ से न्यू ईयर की ईव को बॉल नीचे गिरती है, ये टॉप पे जो फ्लैग लगा हुआ है, and this is a symbol I think from years and years Manhattan बना है. मिस्टर दामले, ये टाइम्स स्क्वायर की बिल्डिंग है जिसमें लॉरेन लिखा हुआ है और यहाँ ऊपर से बॉल गिरती है न्यू ईयर ईव के दिन.
Did you see that post in the print?
No, it came yesterday. Did you see it?
No, I did not see. I saw Sandra Bullock and supposed to be good comedy.
And I couldn't answer that time, but just come to my mind, you see, really I wanted to do a lot of things for my father. But end of the day, you think by the time you come back from your work, you hardly have any time to spend with the old people. And they are waiting for you, that you come home, sit together with them and share. But then you have your lot of things to do, your own business problems, and you are stuck. Should I borrow money from somebody and then go to India? So I used to think I will save my own money. It was very hard to save money and then go. But when I had money, now there is nobody of my own, you see. I just go, means who is going to go just to see the friends? But the own family people, that's what you miss. If I close business today, everybody is unemployed. Not only India, here, both the places. So that is the thing that gives you motivation just to go forward. You cannot back out. You cannot. Your one step can spoil so many things. Everybody, even in my company in New York, they have a lot of expectations. So you cannot go back. You have to go forward now. There is no way out. Whether you like it or you don't like it, that's it. You have to accept it.
Friends, we must congratulate Asian Center for Research and Training for giving us an excellent exposure to a live case study of Shashi Anand. I am sure you will agree with me that this is a case of a very inspiring story, a very touching story, of course, no doubt. Shashi Anand, a lady with Indian origin who comes from a very modest family, from a traditional family. Unfortunately, she loses her husband, as we know. And at that moment of time, as she says, I didn't even cry. You can see the type of boldness, the type of positive attitude that she had. She had 2 daughters to look after, and it was a really very trying and difficult time for her. But as we see, it's a very success story and an inspiring story at that. And the points which I would like to emphasize, and I'm sure you must have also observed those points, that she used to write 2 letters per day to her daughter, one in the morning and one in the evening. This is great, I tell you. It is impossible to see that somebody can do it. But this indicates the type of sensitivity that she had. She made a success, but of course success was not it was not just a case of roses all around. There were difficulties, no doubt. And one difficulty, as we have seen in the film, was that even she had a great problem how to deal with a customer. Her life was at stake. But see how she came out. Now I feel that this is something which every one of us can understand, and all our Indian women who feel that women entrepreneurship is difficult, I think it's an inspiring story for them. What she has done, she had determination, she wanted to perform, she wanted to be on her own. In fact, she comes from a family where it was a joint family. Family members were telling him, don't worry about it, we can look after you. But she said no. And see the daughters, their response. They have said unanimously that our parents would have looked after us in the same way my mother looked after. This is great. The type of work that she did, going to a foreign country, getting herself established. And I still remember one important incident. She said, I had $60,000, I can invest it. And she said, if I lose $10,000 or $20,000, I don't mind. Now this is the spirit with which an entrepreneur has to work. And if we do that, I am sure that all of us will be successful. Why Indians are doing very well all the world over? It is because they have the urge to do something. So I am sure that this will be helpful to each one of us to understand how entrepreneurship can be successful. One of my students, she did for her PhD a research on women entrepreneurship. And I came across similar study of a lady who was from the construction industry. And in that industry, she was not looking after the day-to-day business. Unfortunately, her husband also died. And she started taking interest in the business. And today, she is the vice president of the association, Builders Association. And she told me once in confidence, I really don't know why all my talents were not used. In fact, my husband was telling me earlier also that I should look after the business. I was not doing it that time. But now I have done very well today, and I am really looking after my business fully. So what lesson that we draw is that women should really come out of their shell, start taking interest in activities around them, and of course if unfortunate things are there, they do come out and do it. But is it really necessary that such unfortunate things should take place? Absolutely not. All of us have the talents, let us use it, and I am sure that this is an excellent, outstanding case study which all of us should be able to build on. Thank you.